I think having an optional educational program for children once they've reached the ages of the grade school ages of 7th, 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think having an optional educational program such as trades and skills where they are able to learn technology, technology, cooking, carpentry, woodworking, construction, welding, mechanics, drafting. I think having the government implementing that type of program so that it becomes an option once a child reaches 7th or 8th grade and all the way up to the 12th, I think that will alleviate and address a lot of the problems that we encounter, that some of us parents encounter in our child becoming difficult and troubled and delinquent at a certain age. I do believe that teaching reading, writing, and the basics are crucial from the ages of preschool all the way up to the 6th grade and maybe the 7th. I think it's crucial that a child starts off learning the basics of reading, writing, and math. And that those are the subjects that a child can learn from the ages of and can concentrate on from the ages of like preschool all the way up to 6th or the 7th grade. But I think once a child reaches the age of the 8th grade level, I think it's very crucial to have two types of educational programs available. One, an academic program, an academic educational program, and two, a trades and skills educational program. That way you are providing both types of educational venues for a left and right brained child. And I think having now we don't have that option. You're just doing academics throughout your whole young adulthood life, and I think that's where the problems arise. And I think it's something the government truly needs to look into. The government needs to implement these schools that are just strictly trades and skills schools that where these children can learn these skills and become productive members of society, and it addresses their type of learning their learning innate their innate learning habits. I think it's a great thing to try and start a pilot program that takes that route. And just like we have schools, public schools all over the United States, but they are educational institutions that strictly just teach academics, which I'm not saying we need to get rid of. I think we should still have those because we do have those young adults that have that mind thinking that for doctors, scientists, administrative. But then we are not thinking of those children that are whatever, right brain, left brain, that can't learn in that type of environment. And I think that's where they become frustrated and they become delinquent. I think that type of program provides two educational, in paths, options, to both the right brain and left brain type of people that we are as human beings. And I think that's what happens is that other part of our brain, in who we are as young adults, it's not being addressed or nurtured. Instead, we're just applying the academic part, we're just the only option available is for the, and I keep forgetting which is the creative one, which is the logical, the right brain, left brain. But I think having only one type of educational system available to just all children in general, it's not providing an alternative for those young adults that have a different way of a different learning process. And I think that's what causes all these issues with these children. And that's where the momentum happens, where that change from he was a happy child, she was a good daughter, that's where it changes, because that need isn't being met. Not only does a skills and trades type of educational program for young adults in grades 8 through 12 or 7 through 12 benefit it doesn't just benefit that, the other, that right brain, left brain process of learning process. It also benefits the young adult that is in a social income status. Like it benefits the child that's in a very low income status in life. And what that type of program does is it teaches this child a skill or a trade that can really benefit their life once they graduate, versus, a young adult that's in the 8th grade that comes from a very extremely low income household. They're just forced to learn, science, algebra, trigonometry, calculus, history, where it's not beneficial for them after they graduate. And they're just, it perpetuates the cycle of poverty and low income status. It just keeps them in that cycle. Imagine this scenario. We have this child that attends preschool, kinder, and all the way up to 6th grade, attends the normal traditional educational type of system, where that child learns to read, write, math, the basics of math, science, social studies, history. And this child comes from a low income household, or or comes is a nationality that is kind of like a statistic of, that falls under very extremely negative statistics, because of the type of the race that they are. Let's take, for example, African American male. Let's say we have this child, he is an African American male who goes through the standard and traditional educational system that we have now, where you learn academics. So he's in preschool, he does all the grades all the way up to 6th grade. But then once he reaches 7th grade, he takes that option of wanting to take a skills and trades educational route instead. What if that African American male took that route instead of, he had two choices. Oh, I'm in the 8th grade, I'll be in the 8th grade next year. Do I want to learn academics, or do I want to learn skills or a trade? And what if he opted to take that skills and trade route instead of the academic? And he was able to do that because the government had implemented those two types of educational institutions for our children. What if he took that route and he learned the skills of like technology or construction or welding or mechanics? What if he took that route? And when he graduates as a senior, what are his chances of securing a job which provides him with a better life than he would have if he had taken that academic route? That's a scenario.